Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy today to make a presentation on Rwandan culture and civic education of pre-colonial period. The effective colonization of Rwanda started on 23rd March 1897. Let's see the sources of our data. Thanks to some oral and written sources that we have some data about pre-colonial period. The archaeological excavation and carbon-14 dating method add some precision to these data. The main oral tradition that constitutes a source to historical, political, and socio-economical facts of Rwanda, according to Alexis Kagame. Esoteric code, ubwiru. Genealogical poems, ubucurabwenge. Dynastic poems, ibisigo by'abami. King's tales, ibitekerezo by'abami. These tales date back to Gihanga period. And we have war poems, ibyivugo, pastoral poems, amazina y'inka, popular songs, proverbs, etc. And we have as well material sources such as archaeological sites, monuments, iron tools, sites, etc. Written sources from the beginning of the colonial period and audiovisual sources from the beginning of the colonial period. Let's start by pre-Gihanga period. Before 1091, the Great Lakes region, which comprises of the south of Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, the west of Tanzania, and the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo, had been occupied since millennia by agricultural and pastoral groups. The larger family groups were ruled by charismatic patriarchs called abahinza, or small kings. As a matter of fact, each family group had its charismatic leader, chief nominated regarding his exceptional values, integrity, justice, compassion, courage, heart, nobility, etc. So many researchers state the millennial settlement of clans that are still found today in the Great Lakes region and in Rwanda, such as Abashambo clan, Abasigaba clan, Ababanda clan, Abarenge clan, etc. According to Joseph Kizerbo and Alexis Kagame, the clan is one of the native clans, Abasangwa Butaka, skillful in cow raising and wells making. Let's see Hutu and Tutsi as social class. Hutu, Tutsi, and Twa as social classes. According to Alexis Kagame, Privat Rustazibga, Bishop Kanyamachumbi Pasya, and Alison Desforge, they say during the Umuganura ceremony, a basket full of first fruits of sorghum was the main thing to be carried in procession, and it had the same value as the royal drum, Karinga. In the early period, a well-identified Mhutu, the one leaving the royal house and who got military training, carried the basket up to the king's place. This proves that social classes conception in Rwanda has always been in the core part of the socio-economic life of the country. We may mention that those Tutsi who lost their wealth were obliged to integrate Bahutu's class, agricultures, as well as those Hutu who were fortunate to gather a lot of wealth, integrated Tutsi's class, who were wealth possessor. They got married and married their children within that new class and vice versa. Let's see the period of Gihanga and the first 6 kings. This is from 1091 up to 1312. According to different sources, in particular written sources, Gihanga is the founder of Abanyiginya Kingdom. That clan's totem is the crane, Umusambi. The esoteric code of Rwanda devotes enough remembrance to the existence of the first monarchy with a drum, a hammer, and a musical instrument called Nyamiringa as monarchy symbols. Gihanga Ngomishana's children who were well known and who were confirmed by esoteric code: Kanyarwanda, Kanyandorwa, Kanyabugesera, Rutsobe, Kanyabungo. These were the sons of Ngomijana Gihanga. The six kings who reigned after Gihanga are qualified birth kings, Abami Umushumi. Alexis Kagame, according to him, their power was not centralized. Besides their small kingdom, they were strong and self-governing entities which were led by small kings such as Kimenyi for the Gisaka and Tsorowan for the Ubugesera. Rwanda as a nation. Rwanda as a nation started in 1312 up to 1897, the start of colonial period and the end of pre-colonial period. Initially, Rwanda was a small sect around Gasabo Hill at Muhazi Lake in Gasabo district. Rwanda as a nation was founded between 1312 and 1345 under Ruganzu's first Bwimba, 8th king. This nation was called Urwanda rwa Gasabo, and it had 5 territories, which were Ubuganza, Bwanacyambwe, the current Kigali, Buriza, Busigi, and Busarasi, Bumbogo. These territories had their kings. Huba was the king of Bwanacyambwe, Kigali. Migina was the king of Buriza, and Sambwe was the king of Busarasi, the current Bumbogo. Other clans, Abasinga, Abega, Abaha, Abakono, Abazigaba, and Abatsobe were closely associated to Abanyiginya clan, the founder of the Rwandan kingdom. Let's see the territorial conquests. The growth of the country, Urwanda rwa Gasabo, was progressive. In the 14th century, Bugesera enclave, Mageragere, Kigali, Nyamweru mountains, all of these were annexed to Urwanda rwa Gasabo. In the 15th century, conquest of principalities in the north of Unduga kingdom, conquest of Unduga, Kigali, Buberuka, Bukonya, Bugarura, Bwishaza, and Murera in the 15th century. In the 16th century, Ruganzu Tundori, from 1510 to 1543, the 14th king, according to Alexis Kagame, he is without doubt the most popular king of Rwanda. His popularity made him become a mythical and legend character. It is said that the amazing cavities in the rocks have been printed by his feet. The cliffs on the hillsides are the results of his sword strikes. But the truth is that the king Ruganzu Tundori was a charismatic king and the one who moved very far the borders of Rwanda. Let's see how he moved very far the borders of Rwanda. The conquest of all the area beyond volcanoes, all Bufumbira in Uganda, was Rwanda. All the part of Kigezi district was Rwanda. All of these were in Uganda. Ruchuru territory from Congo was Rwanda. Jomba was Rwanda. Busanza was Rwanda. Rugari, Bushari, Gito, up to Kwichanzige led very far in the North Kivu. The conquest of Goma, Masisi, Gishari, Mokoto, North Kivu, was annexed to Rwanda. Complete submission of Buhunde and Butembo, South Kivu. Annexion of Bufundu, Busanza, Bungwe. Annexion of Intrigue Island and the Bururi Kingdom. All of these were annexed to Rwanda by Ruganzu Tundori in the 16th century. In the 17th century, the conquest of Ndorwa Kingdom, with bigger part in today's Uganda. In the 18th century, annexion of Bugesera Kingdom and the conquest of Uyenzi region. In the 19th century, annexion of Gisaka Kingdom. The pre-colonial period ended with the reign of King Kigeli IV Rwabugiri, the 24th King of Rwanda, from 1853 to 1895. He enhanced all the borders of the Great Rwanda and continued to annex more area up to his death in September 1895. Let's see the positive values of Rwandan culture in the pre-colonial period. The constitution of the state nation. From Ruganzu First Bwimba's period in 1312 to Kigeli IV Rwabugiri, the 24th king, Rwanda was progressively formed as independent, sovereign, powerful, and prestigious state nation. A well-controlled territory, a bound together people with national consciousness, a strong army for national sovereignty defense, existence of solid socio-political institutions, the acknowledgement of the state nation by other states as sovereign, political administrative institutions. The king symbolized the national unity and stability from Gihanga in 1091 up to colonization of white people in 1807. A kingdom of Abanyiginya clan had ruled for more than 8 centuries, 805 years, without being interrupted. That is a great political stability. Several researchers, such as Kanyamachumbi Pasya, Rutazibga, Kagame Alexei, state that after enthronement, the king became everybody's man. He was above all. Unlike the argument by other authors who wrote about Rwanda, the power in Rwanda was not absolute. It was moderated by several institutions such as the Queen and team of counselors, the team of historic code keepers, Abiru, the king's counselors, the chiefs of pastures, Abatwara Mukenke, the chiefs of lands. Remember, the chiefs of pastures or Abatwara Mukenke were mainly made of Tutsi people, and the chiefs of lands were mainly made by Hutu people, and the chiefs of armies, all of them were together, and the chiefs of forests were mainly made by Twa people. If the king was absolute and really an absolute dictator, the internal contradiction, such as unhappiness of oppressed people, would bring about breaking out of the kingdom. Even before the constitution of the state nation, in 1312, Rwandan people belonged to the same clans. Therefore, they had the same culture, the same language, the same customs, the same beliefs. There were no difference between Hutu and Tutsi. No difference between Hutu and Twa. They shared culture, language, customs, beliefs, and so on. The three components of Rwandan people, Hutu, Tutsi, and Twa, were aware of being only one and unique people. imbaga y'u Rwanda or bene kanyarwanda during wars for expansion or for defending their country, Hutu, Tutsi and Twa all used to go in different battles in order to defend courageously the honor of their homeland, Rwanda. Because of that national consciousness and the ethic values, no case of war is mentioned between these three components of Rwandan people during the whole pre-colonial period, thousands of years. No any case of conflict between Hutu, Tutsi, and Twa. Indeed, according to many researchers on traditional Rwanda, especially Detfeld, Vansina, Newbury, Muzungu, Rwandan clans have been composed by what has been from the colonial period called Hutu, Tutsi and Twa, as confirmed by the following chart. And this chart, you find that in Banyiginya were Hutu and Tutsi. Abasindi were Hutu, Tutsi and Twa. Abega were Hutu, Tutsi and Twa. Abasinga were Hutu, Tutsi and Twa. Abashambo the same. Abagesera the same. Abakono Hutu and Tutsi. Abatsobe Hutu, Tutsi and Twa. Abaha the same. Ababanda the same. Abazigaba the same. Abachawa the same. Abungura the same. Abarihira the same. Which means one would be born Hutu, and when he becomes wealthy, becomes Tutsi. The same was when someone who was Tutsi becomes poor, he becomes Hutu, as well as they can become Twa. So these were social classes. Otherwise, Hutu, Tutsi, and Twa, they are the same. Criteria of human values, of responsibility, and of competences in power sharing. This is also a positive value. The chiefs of lands, of pachas and armies, as well as the kings and the queen's councillors, were carefully selected on the basis of the criteria mentioned above. Every often, those councillors were patriarchs of their clans, and they were confirmed to their new post by the king. Contrary to arguments of specialists of wrong ideology, the valuable element of Hutu and Batwa social classes had great responsibility. But Hutu were part of Abiru, esoterically called keepers. But there was another category called spokesperson of the tradition. This was mainly made of Abiru, whose family Bahutu and Batutsi belonged to different areas throughout the country. The Queen's special counselor, the great chief Seruteganya, from the Hutu social class, was an important person in the royal court. The great chief of the armies, Ingangurarugo, in Kigeri IV Rwabugiri period, was called Bisangwa Byargobi Turi. He was from the Hutu social class. The chiefs of the lands were Hutu subjects, mostly in northwest part of the country, in Ubugoyi, the current of Rubavu, Ubushiru, the current Nyabihu, Ubukonya, and so on. The socio-economic institutions called Ubuhake and Ubukonde. Ubuhake, the cow, was the central part of the socio-economic life. The system was mostly practiced in the center and the south of the country. Ubukonde, the land, was the central part of the socio-economic life. This was especially practiced in the north and the southwest of Rwanda. Several researchers, such as Rutazibwa Patient, Kagame Alexis, and Byanafashe Deo, and the other 7 professors, give advantages of those institutions of Ubuhake and Ubukonde. The clans' advantages, or the advantages of Abagaragu. The clans, Abagaragu, received goods from their patrons, cows, for ubuhake and lands for ubukonde, which we can say in today's life, salary. The client, umugaragu, got protection from his boss. There was even a saying which says, ushaka umugaragu, ukubisa umugaragu abashaka shebuja. The client got his children taken care and his wealth being protected by his boss's clan. The creation of close and more or less family relationships between patron and client. This was shown by gratitude feeling expressed by word of honor. Kwirahira yamaye nkaka mari twataranye. Nkurahira umuhutu wa musinga. Such great honor. The patron's advantages, shebuja. The first advantage is the honor and pride of having many people under control. This gave him importance in the society. Secondly, the patron received services from his clients: cows, keeping, agriculture, message dispatching, and so on. The education. Pre-colonial education was really integral, complete moral, social, political, professional, and physical education. It was accomplished at 3 levels. Family level. Here, the basic moral education was given from child, kubaha, gukunda, from the childhood. The clan level. Social and cultural education was given by clan members. Young girls were sent to their aunts, and young boys were sent to their paternal uncles. This practice had a positive role. Furthermore, it gave power to clan over an individual. The education at the level of courts and palaces, amatorero. This education was given to young people selected by their respective clans. They were culturally, politically, administratively, and militarily well educated. Pre-colonial education involved everybody so far as clanic protection is concerned. There were no jobless people, no forsaken children, no orphans, neither widows, and no widowers. A social solution was found to take care of them. Economy. The Rwandan pre-colonial economy was generally characterized by food self-sufficiency at both family and clan levels. Clan solidarity was practiced in the agricultural domain, common farming, or ubudehe, and even in breeding. Clan members kept their cows together, ubusho, troupeau de vache. Complementarily of economy activities and exchange system between different products. For example, sorghum exchanged with sweet potatoes, ishabure exchanged with ibishimbo. Iron craft industry. This industry has helped Rwandans to develop agriculture, breeding, spear, arrows, weapons for defense against the wild beasts, as well as the extension of their territory thanks to the weapons provided to different battalions. Gacaca justice. This is a traditional way of conflict resolution under guidance and supervision of the elders and the patriarchs. The two parts should come to real reconciliation. Our Gacaca justice was so good and effective and efficient. The guilty part should acknowledge the guilt. Kwemera icyaha. He would repent and ask for forgiveness. He would repair the matter. And finally, the conflict was uprooted. Gutsinda ikibi, icyaha, no kunga ababuranaga. Traditional religion. The religion was based on one God, Imana Rurema. People used to pray and invoke Ryangombe, Biheko, and Binego rites, Kubandwa, only for intercession. At the family level, the blessings and prayers were executed with Uguterekera rights. This traditional religion had an important value of clan cohesion because the salvation was collective. Science is science. A scientific researcher should show the positive and negative side. Now let's see the negative aspects of the pre-colonial period. The first negative aspect was intrigues, amatiku. The intrigues took place in some great chiefs' places and on the royal court. They were planned, were presented with a lot of parties, and at their end, there were arrestation and execution of accused people. Example, the case of the great chief and the special counselor of the Queen Mother of Kigeri IV Rwabugiri, the counselor named Seruteganya, as he was a popular in the royal court. He was involved in an intrigue of love with the Queen Mother. The king made a serious investigation, but as everybody took part in the plot, the Queen Mother and her supposed lover with his family were executed. Several cases of intrigue are mentioned during the pre-colonial period. This is why some clans left Rwanda for remote places, notably in the Democratic Republic of Congo, in North Kivu, South Kivu, and in Uganda. Another negative aspect was the lack of respect to Buhake and Bukonde conventions. It has been noticed that some patrons, Shebuja, had no respect to their conventions with their clients. This brought about disappointment and desertion of clients who were concerned. Another mentioned case was the expropriation of clients' properties, kunyaga, and internal conflicts. Internal conflicts within the clans, interest conflict during property sharing or succession would sometimes rise and produce displacement and running away of some clan members. Those conflicts were not ethnic, but rather economic. This is the case of clans like Abanyarwanda living in the North Kivu and Abanyamurenge living in the South Kivu. We may mention that during the pre-colonial period, the millennia and the years before 1897, no case of conflict between Hutu elements and Tutsi elements has been identified during that long period of 1,000 years. In brief, Hutu, Tutsi, and Twa are the same. They had the same culture, the same customs, the same beliefs, everything. They shared everything. In the next presentation, we shall see how the myth of Hutu, Tutsi, and Twa as ethnic groups were created by colonizers with the intention of divide and rule. Thank you.